I can then cut out maybe 3 to 4 different old systems and move it on the blockchain. I mean, it's a no-brainer going forward. You get rid of all of the title companies. And so you can then replace all title companies with potentially like marketplaces that live on the blockchain. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how XRP is a lot bigger than cross-border payments, how $326 trillion of real estate is moving on the blockchain, and how it's happening right now. Japan's largest bank tokenized a $681 million skyscraper, and Dubai is selling property on the XRP Ledger right now. And why are the banks doing this? I'm going to show you the big picture. Stay tuned. Okay, so what does real estate look like on the XRP Ledger? Really, the big picture is fractional ownership. And so I know a lot of folks go, okay, XRP, real estate, that's going to make a difference. But in my opinion, I think the market is looking for ways to increase lending to individuals. And you have an asset that, in my opinion, is tapped out in the old system with lending. I think that there's going to be a shift with taking your house and putting it on the blockchain. So there's already a lot of speculation. We have skyscrapers potentially moving on the blockchain. And I wanted to show you this graphic, XRP to become the backbone of tokenized real estate in Japan. And I've talked about this a lot, maybe not this specific one, but essentially this is with SBI Holdings. And there's a lot of connections. Yeah, this Mitsubishi Financial Group. I did a graphic with XCC and SBI, but essentially they're talking about tokenizing real estate. And since there is a connection with Ripple, they're working together with institution in basically retail markets. So their focus, in my opinion, is figuring out how do I get this asset, which is tied up with existing loans, and how do I fractionalize it and give it to people. I mean, it's actually genius if you think about it. So I wanted to show you another graphic so you guys know where my head is going. Fubon Bank, Ripple to use Hong Kong CBDC and real estate tokenization pilot. And basically, like I said, Ripple is involved with this, and they're also doing it in Dubai. And I'm going to be going over that in a little bit. So I really want you to think, what's the point of putting real estate on the blockchain? Like, really wrap your head around it. And if you are, I want you to think about, okay, if you're a central bank person, or you run the Fed, or you're the BlackRock CEO, and you wanted to tokenize all assets, what does that mean? What does that mean when I say, okay, let me tokenize real estate on the blockchain? Ask yourself, what is the point of doing this? The point of doing this is to create more money in a new system. There's a whole market in this cryptocurrency world that is untapped. And we're moving every single blockchain, every single system, every single dollar onto blockchains across the globe. You're going, Joshua, no, there's no way. I disagree. I think that it is a slow ship, but we're doing it like through the pieces. And that's why we're seeing, fundamentals and these huge organizations coming online saying, hey, we're going to tokenize real estate. We're going to be, tokenizing all assets, is because, in my opinion, there is no more like assets to bundle together and sell to investors. We're at a point where we need to expand into a new system like the blockchain. And how do we represent the old into the new? We then tokenize it, call them real world assets. They're actually doing this. I mean, they're saying, hey, we're going to represent this building on the blockchain, and then we're going to fractionalize it and give it to people. And how we're going to give it to people, we're going to charge them in this, stable coin, which represents the dollar. And so now we got this stable coin backed by money in the old system. So now we got two sources of income. It's really smart. Okay, so you guys know I'm not making this stuff up. We buy and sell property tokens 24/7 a day. And what are they selling? They're selling literally Dubai real estate on the blockchain. And so people are going, Joshua, no one likes NFTs. What's the difference between this and an NFT? It's non-fungible. The only difference is it's supposed to represent a real world asset. Some people go, Joshua, what does this represent? How do they tie this to that? It's the same way that they tie a title piece of paper to your house, or a deed to your property to your house, or a title to your car. Like, what's the representation of that? The representation of that is the system that connects them. And so the government represents, okay, this house has this deed or this title. So there's a system that everyone agrees upon that they then have consensus on that title has value. In the same way, if you can then tokenize assets on the real estate, the system that connects them is XRP, is XLM, is XDC, is Ethereum, depending on which one. So the system is the validity of your assets on the chain. I created a graphic to go over some of my thoughts. They're making money on every transaction, so the speed is there. They get access to the liquidity immediately, and you got a global buyer. So you can then tap into a global market. You don't have to have any regulation with any type of jurisdiction. Anyone on the blockchain could potentially buy your tokenized assets. It's a no-brainer. I mean, it's a no-brainer going forward. You get rid of all of the title companies. And so you can then replace all title companies with potentially like marketplaces that live on the blockchain. So even realtors, it's like, wait a second, let me think about this. There's a complete shakeup. I can then cut out maybe 3 to 4 different old systems and move it on the blockchain. It really begs the question of, it's not a matter of when this is coming, it's how fast can we get there? They're doing this right now with institutions. And I think the narrative with XRP right now is just cross-border payments. But in my opinion, it's so much bigger than just cross-border payments. This is an entire world that lives on the blockchain. And I'm not a hype man. I really do like showing you the facts, but my engineer mind goes, this is coming, because systems adapt. Every system adapts. There is not one system that doesn't change. As we transport vehicles, we went from horses to cars, even gas-powered cars going to electric cars. Money's going to change too. How we do real estate is going to change too. Part of the reason why I built this company is because I'm trying to build with them. I don't want to be left behind in this old system. And so when I get paid, I want to be paid in cryptocurrency. And so even the link that I have to this side of me is cryptocurrency. That's my WhatISupport SharkDome profile. You also can be a part of that. I'm going to be having a black card soon. And so that's going to be coming. So essentially you can carry a card with you to scan the code. But this is your digital profile that you can then show to your friends. Hey, if you want to pay me an HBAR, go ahead. You know, why get paid in a system that is changing? I want to get paid in a new system so that I can adapt with them. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you coming to this channel. I appreciate every one of you, and I read all your comments. So I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.